Let's talk. I've been a painter for about 10 years and I am trying to figure out my identity now at this point in my life versus when I first started painting. When I first started painting, I was really scared to get into the process, and so I kind of like accidentally fell into abstract art because it allowed me to have more fluidity and play a little bit more and have less structure. Which eventually I realized that abstract is a lot of structure, but you don't always realize that. Anyways, I am at this place now in my life where I'm trying to figure out my personal identity and like who I am as an individual, what I like, what I want to do, what I'd like to be around more often. And I've kind of had this lull for quite a few months now where I just kind of have not known what I wanted, or known what I wanted and didn't feel like it would be achievable, and so I just didn't go towards it. And previous to this, I've just had a few years of just kind of feeling like I've been going with the flow and trying different things and just seeing what works and not really being happy with anything that I've been doing. But I feel more inspired right now than ever to move into a different phase within my personal life and also in my artistic endeavors, which is really scary because I've just not really allowed myself to develop my skills in painting. When I was in college for art, I really did have to try 1,000 different things, and I worked with drawings and I worked with charcoal and with pastels and with paint, acrylic and oil, and I also did sculpture and all these different things, and it was really great. And I did pottery too, and it was just really great to try different mediums out and figure out what I like. And I just kind of, I don't know, I attached onto abstract painting, specifically with acrylic. I did tinker around with some pastels, but I kind of just fell into it and stayed with it. But now, 10 years later, I don't really think that I want to be doing abstract art the way that I've been doing it. When I was younger, I really enjoyed sketching. I did a lot of like portraits of people, and I did a lot of just tiny little sketches in a small little sketchbook, whether it was of animals or humans or of houses or of nature. I just really played with a lot of different things, and I feel like I've been missing that the last 10 years. And I kind of just felt like I had to stick with abstract painting because I'd always told people I was an abstract painter. I like to do conceptual art and contemporary art, and that's kind of where I stuck myself into this tiny little box, and I don't feel like I fit in it anymore. And I feel like now I need to refresh myself with all of my skills in terms of drawing, because that's really what I'm being drawn to. Like I don't know what's going on, but I've been just like having dreams of playing with pastel, dreams of playing with charcoal, doing like a whole black charcoal background and then taking away and doing like the negatives. And I've also been wanting to do stuff with color pencil. And my grandma, she was a wonderful artist. She drew portraits, and I know that I've always kind of wanted to follow in her footsteps in terms of being a really good drawer. And it kind of runs in the family. Like, my brother is really good at drawing, and my mom is really good at drawing, and my dad can draw. My sister's an artist as well. My other brother is artistic in other ways, but like I haven't really allowed myself the opportunity to try to be someone who uses a pencil, which sounds so weird, but it felt safer at the time to use palette knives and play with, you know, massive paintbrushes and have a lot more freedom within my realm. And now I'm kind of wanting to make things smaller and do sketchbook drawings and bigger drawings, and maybe eventually, you know, really playing with pastels to create bigger pieces But I really think I'm going to be sticking in a bubble of mixed media. Like, I really don't think I want to stay with one thing, because I think that in the long run, it's kind of just taken away from my ability to see where I can take things and see where my growth can go. All this to be said, feeling really inspired right now. I did make a little affirmation for today. It is, I choose to actively develop my skills and my boundaries. And the reason I say boundaries is because I really need to like crack down on routine and saying yes when I really want to paint, and say no to other things when I'm getting distracted or when people are wanting things from me, because I haven't allowed myself to take the time to really develop my skills the way that I want to. And so I really need to like create a routine with it, because back in the day I had a major routine with my painting or just artistic endeavors in general. I was doing art anywhere from 3 to like 8 hours a day, and it was just like a huge part of my life. So we're gonna start out small. We've just been starting out with some daily sketches to kind of get back into the groove of things, and yeah, I'm really excited to see what happens. But it's so weird at the age of 29 to be like, I have no clue what I am doing in my life, and also to be at the same time be like, I know exactly what I want out of my life and to know exactly where I see myself in the future, but then having no idea how to like get there, like the stepping stones, the journey to get there. It's a really weird concept, because like where I am right now in my life, I'm just like a beginner in terms of where I want my art to be in the future, and also how I want my art to be shown, how I want to share my art, and what I want to do and develop with it. And it feels like I'm a newborn baby, and it's very weird, but I can't wait to see what happens. So right now I am just sitting with the things that I love, and I'm hoping that because I love them so much that my art will just flow naturally and peacefully and just kind of seamlessly fall into place. Because there have been times where I have tried to paint certain things or draw certain things, and I just hit a wall, and I don't care, and I don't want to do it, and it feels like, you know, I'm just like banging my head against a wall because it's not something I want to do or enjoy. And whenever I make vision boards, it kind of is like very telling in terms of what I actually care about. There have been times where I thought I wanted to be a certain kind of person, or I thought I wanted a certain career, and then I'd put it on a vision board, and like I would notice that the whole vision board was empty except for like the 2 destination spots of whatever I wanted it to be or whatever I thought I wanted to do. And I would just like toss out my vision boards because they just felt like either too daunting or just something I didn't actually care about. But I didn't think I didn't care about it until I did the vision board of it, and then I'm like, ew, that is not me. And so, a long story short, I think it's really important to do vision boards because you can really play and be like, oh, this is what I care about. This is what interests me. I don't know why I'm putting this on my board, but it feels right. And your vision board doesn't have to be like the end all be all, but it can help you kind of create a genre to focus on. And when I first started painting, this is how I figured out how to paint. Like, I would go to Pinterest and find photos and pin them in a thing, and I'd be like, okay, this is what I'm focusing on. Or I'd take my own photos and I'd create a board or a folder in my phone and be like, okay, this is what I'm gonna focus on, whether it was the colors or the energy of the photos or the people or the just kind of vibe that the photos were putting off of. I would use it, and then I'd create like a what are they called? Like, I would create a little vision board or a collage to figure out what I wanted to do. And right now, it was really weird actually. I was sitting last night thinking, okay, I really want to draw or paint coffee. Okay. And then I went online to look for photos of coffee, and I'm like, none of this resonates with me at all. And so then I looked up horses and just started drawing, and it was fine, and it, you know, flowed. But then this morning I woke up and I was like, it's not about the coffee itself. That was weird to me last night. It was just the energy that the photos were putting off that didn't feel right. So like the coffee in certain environments to me didn't really mean anything. Like just a picture of a bunch of random different types of coffee literally was just kind of like, I don't care. But when you put the coffee with a dessert, or when you put the coffee with people holding coffees, or if you put a coffee in a coffee shop, or if you could put a person holding a cup of coffee in the snow or out in nature, just looking out into the distance at their experiences and their environments, it brought in a story that I actually cared about. So all this to say, I think that things as a general topic are really boring to me, but then when you bring them in and you create a story and a dynamic that is interesting, then that is the drawing or the painting that you want to work on. So right now, the vibes that I'm going for are equestrian, western, like colder temperature, warmer skies, like cozy fireplace, blankets, dark interior houses or buildings that kind of give like a smoky, I don't know, feel like just like leather. Okay. That's what I'm feeling right now. And so I'm going with it. And that is what I want to, you know, capture in whatever I'm drawing or painting or working on. And that is the goal right now. So yeah,